welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Middle podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Uncle AK.
Yes, sir. I'm Reflex. AK, how you feeling today, bro?
Man, I'm good, bro.
I like that shirt, yo.
Yo, thank you, man.
Where you get that?
You gotta represent Africa, boy.
Where you get it from?
Where'd I get it from? Man, down the street.
Down the street.
Down the street. I forgot where I got it.
You went hiking today. I like that, man. I'm trying to be like you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I saw you post a picture. Get in touch with nature.
Definitely.
Where'd you go?
VA, Great Falls. It's a great place.
Would you
man.
recommend it?
Definitely.
Should I check it out next week?
Oh, definitely. I'm going next week again.
All right, take
so
me, bro.
we're trying to do an all Sunday thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, not Sunday, but a weekend thing where we get a bunch of people together and we go hiking.
Kind of like Leave to Africa.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah,
Africa,
I like that. I like
You
that.
know what's strange about today?
What's that?
And actually kind of pointed this out. He said, "Bruh, did you notice the entire time we were over there, we just the only two black people out here?"
It was a lot of people there, though?
There was a lot of people, a lot of
Did
Asians.
y'all make new friends, though?
Man, we were talking about Stuck in the Middle and other things. So, yeah.
That's that networking right there.
Networking.
I like how that segments into, so like the people who got to build it today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna manage talent, you gotta have some networking skills.
Definitely.
We have special guests in the building, like always.
Uh-huh.
You wanna know what's the honor? Let them know who got a building.
Yeah, in the building today, they are the CEO and the CFO of DNR Talent Management. Listeners and viewers, help us welcome Delaine and Rodney Richards to Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Yes, sir.
I hope I said it right. I said it right? Okay, cool.
You got the gear going already, man. I like it. Thank you guys for coming through.
Oh, I didn't notice. I didn't piss.
Yeah,
the
you gotta
DNR
peep
management. Yeah.
You gotta represent.
You gotta represent, of course.
You gotta represent.
You gotta check out the back.
Yes, on the
I'm gonna
back.
check out the bag later.
On the back.
What did you say? Oh, okay, yeah, I peep that.
Oh,
Now,
Got some info on the back.
Usually, like, we reach out to people to get them on the pod. So you guys actually reach out to us, and I respect that. How did you guys find out about Stuck in the Middle? I'm just intrigued, like, to learn about how you guys found out about Stuck in the Middle.
Well, we have a social media, executive assistant, and she goes out and she says, okay, let's broaden ourselves. Because before, a lot of the touching was by word of mouth. A lot of our artists would spread it, or a lot of our artists would perform different places, and that's how we would really get out there. But with modern technology and hiring a younger staff, they came in and said, no, let's reach out and touch some of the podcasts, and let's touch some of the radio stations, those type of things. So we got out, and she started reaching out to various people, and various people started reaching back to us. So here we are.
Yeah, there's a key factor or key phrase in what you just said. Younger staff. Mm-hmm. We know of where we come from. The elderly. No, let me say the grown folks. Mm-hmm. They have a reverse mentality of, the grown people are the people who make all the decisions and stuff. Right. Like, in your opinion, what's the difference between having a younger staff and a lot older folks? Let's just say, your peers and stuff working with you.
In DNR, yep.
Well, with our younger staff, you have to understand, DNR management has come together to give a younger people a platform to express themselves through their music, through their acting, through their modeling, to help them to express themselves. So what would be the best way to do that than have a younger staff?
Right.
And having a younger staff, they're more in touch with, this is the things that we do. These are some of the places we should go. So we tend to follow along, but we have more of the older folk, as you say, preview on things. Okay, we don't need to go to X, Y, and Z if it's going to be this kind of issues. However, you don't need to spend this kind of money to do this. Let's reach out and talk to this one. Those type of things.
Right.
We have the contacts, and they have some ideas. And we teach them how to bring networking together to really make it work.
So let me, before we get too deep in the weeds, let me ask you, what is, for those who are watching right now who don't know DNR management?
We are actually, we are a management company. Mm-hmm. So we manage the careers of actors, models, singers, and dancers. We work with them. We teach them to run their own business. We teach them that being a model is a business. Being a artist is a business, and we teach you how to run that business, how to brand yourself, how to educate yourself, how to get out there and work on your craft, how to get a bigger platform. So we're more of a teaching as well as managing. So yes, we do all the heavy lifting and go places with you and do all of those things, but we teach you as well.
Gotcha.
A lot of times people will do everything for you. Well, if you're doing everything for the person never learns to do it themselves. So we also push education. We push that they take business law so that they understand contracts. They understand all of the branding, the copywriting, all of the legal aspects. Because, once again, we're teaching you to do what? Run a business.
Business, yeah.
So we have radio capability under us. We have TV capability under us. And what we do is we place all of that in the middle of the floor, and we tell the younger staff, what do we do with this? How do we, as DNR management, place all of these pieces together to make it work? And
Sound
we
like I need to
allow
sign with
them to
y'all.
have a broader idea.
Sound like I need to sign with y'all.
How long have you been in business?
Yeah.
14 years.
14 years. That's a lot.
Yes. So
What sparked that start? You know what I mean? Like, what was like, yo, let's start DNR. And has it always been named that? I mean, I'm DNR
it's
from
Delaine and Rodney.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
Made it real easy and simple,
yeah. Like, what was like? Let's start this. What came about?
Well, we had a daughter that got into modeling. And we learned a lot about the business. We learned some of the good, some of the bad, the do's and the don'ts. But we met a lot of parents that was in a total confusion. Like, what should we do? What shouldn't we do? Should we be spending all of this money? Do we need to spend all of this money? I mean, should we throw thousands of dollars out there? What should we be doing? So as we began to learn a lot, we began to, take classes and learn for ourselves. Then we had a son that decided he wanted to be involved. So we started having parents come to us and say, well, how did you all learn this? How did you learn that? Can you do this for our child? So we started getting very involved with other people's children, and that began DNR Talent Management.
It takes a lot for a parent to come up to you and say, hey, manage my son or daughter.
Like, saying
You
trust
know
the
what I mean?
kid.
Yeah, trust. Like trust is a big factor. So talk a little bit about the trust when it comes to managing talent.
It's a big factor. The one thing, like I said, we lay on the table, we're real big. Where is it that you want to go? What do you want to do? What is your dream? What is your aspiration? Too many times kids are told to listen, but we're not listening in return. So we want to know what they want to do. Sometimes young people are saying, I just want a model. Well, the parents' dream is for them to be an actor. So we are that in between them and the parents sometimes.
Figure
to
that
say,
out. You know what I mean?
yes, hey, look, she's excellent at modeling. She loves it. But this isn't where her heart is where you're pushing her, is where you want her to be. So let's do a little of both, but to allow them to be creative. Allow them to grow into their own skin. How old are you, for instance?
26 next month, in a couple of weeks.
Oh, so at 26, do you really know who you are and what you really want to do with your life and what direction is heading in?
I'm trying to be a rapper.
That's what you're trying
Yeah.
to do.
Oh, a rapper.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Well, I've narrowed my own talent down to technology, and that's where I'm at right now.
That's his niche.
Yeah.
So understand the average young person is still trying to narrow it down and figure it out. And
What age should a kid have that figured out by? You know what I mean? Like, what's the age range of your clients? Like from like, I don't know, 6 to the oldest, or what age should a person have that figured out by before they step foot into your door? I mean, you will help them figure that out, but what is the good age for somebody to have that figured out by?
I don't think you ever figure 100%, it's say at 16 or 18, you have to get your feet wet. You have to get out there. If you're saying you want to be a rapper, then we would say, hey, look, show us what you have. Have you written any music? Do you do your own beats? We have a beat maker, and let's get you with a producer. Rodney would work with you. He would see what you have. We would put you on a performance stage, a smaller crowd. And sometimes when you get there, you say, no, man, this is not what I really want. And then you get up there and, you had this hard crowd that is just staring at you, and you're saying, maybe I better stick to this, or maybe I need to change some things. Maybe I shouldn't just rap. Maybe I can sing and rap, or maybe I can collaborate with somebody.
No, maybe just do poetry or something,
Yeah.
Spoken word,
It sounds like it sounds like you like a bookkeeper. You manage like a business. It's, just like it's real chill, man. You know what I mean? Like he's the business side.
Yeah,
She's the
She's actually the person who goes out and promote. So whatever direction as the artist, she goes out and makes the opportunities happen. Makes what your dream is a reality. I get with the artist, and get some of your thoughts and your lyrics down on paper. We get in the studio, get you with some nice beats, some sounds that you wanna vibe with, and then we go over it and get you like she said, performing on stage to see what your stage presence is like. See what your stage presence is like, and then we go from there, and then we work on that as well.
Who do you go ahead?
I want to ask this,
Yeah.
hearing everything you're saying, is this a feeding company, like a feeding management company, or is this a company where you create a talent and just watch it? Like you just nurture it till it gets to where it really wants to be and more?
I think we do a little of both.
Yeah.
We nurture it, we cultivate it, we give it direction. Because sometimes a birdie doesn't know what direction to fly in. So we have to let it test the waters. If you want to be an actor and the first time you have to get on the big screen, what is the first thing that happens when they give you a script? You either can learn it or you can't. And some people find I'm not very good at memorizing. Or I get in front of the camera and I'm freezing.
Right.
So we get you the classes you need to get better at it. So we help you to cultivate. We, help push you in the direction that you feel you need to go. But while we're learning who you are, we push you in the direction that maybe you need to be in.
See what your passion is, what's in your heart, and your soul, to see what you're really feeling. Because we have a lot of young kids that say they want to be a model, actor, and singer. So what's your first love? I want to drive truck. Okay, then why are we talking about acting, modeling, and singing? Because you're not going to be all behind it 100% if that's not your passion. I guess that's the direction that you need to, be behind the driving force.
Right.
What did you all do before, before you decided to manage your daughter? And do you know what you do full time? Like, so everything you do right now?
Oh, we don't do this just full time.
No,
Our
we don't.
lives are, we got into this, we're both over 30 years in federal service. We are both, we run different companies to ensure that young people come in. They say, hey, look, my kid is hard to find work. We have a valet service. So young men can, and young women can make extra money while they're in college or in high school. Good driving records. We have a cleaning business where we do apartments and these type of things. So we do so many things because our big thing is too much is given, much is required.
Right.
So what that means is to try to, as you try to cultivate, because this is not a business that's, I call cheap. If you go in the studio, it costs money. So if a young man is trying to really, or young female is trying to really force their career, a lot of times they're like, I'm having a hard time with a job. Oh, well, we got something we can get you involved in. And that way they're starting to make money. They're starting to build a resume so that we can help them get jobs other places. We can use contacts to help them. a lot of times at 16 it's hard to get a job.
Yeah.
But if you can get a job and we can help you and give you great references, then you can get a job later on to actually help you with your career more.
Is this just like where say somebody were to walk in your office right now, where is it at?
It's in King George, Virginia, which is below La Plata, about 20 minutes.
Yes, about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And just off of Route 301.
You operate just in Virginia. You got people out of state, like like you oversee, manage, and stuff like that.
We have people all over the DMV. We have New Jersey. We have them in Pennsylvania.
North Carolina.
Yes. So we're not just isolated, all out in Charlottesville and, Richmond, Virginia
Lynchburg.
Beach. Yes. Northern Virginia and D.C. So we have them all over. And that's the great thing about us. But they all will meet in one place. We all can come together. We all meet at different performances. All the artists support each other. So if one is performing, the others will come, and the models and the actors will get behind them. Some of the models and the dancers will dance for them. So we're a big family based. So everybody comes together and work together.
Right.
It's not you're on your own or you're on your own. Everybody supports.
I like that. I
Teamwork.
like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Where we come from, like when I say where we come from, I'm talking about Africa,
Okay.
And that's
some
a
of
beautiful, by the way, so that's a beautiful thing about Stuck in the Middle is that bridging that gap between the diaspora and the continent.
Yeah.
When I say
Right,
continent, I mean
right.
Africa. So this is it's a beautiful thing.
Now, when you guys say Africa, now what part of Africa?
Cameroon.
Oh, Cameroon.
Yeah,
Because I used to work with a guy. He was from Ghana.
Oh, nice.
So two guys were from Ghana.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
great people, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh yeah. Most definitely. I love the food, the rice,
Yeah,
Spicy
the,
joint,
yes,
spicy joint.
the chicken and the shrimp in it. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
But now, to some extent, that support is kind of lacking.
Yeah, facts.
So it's like you have to be doing something that really stands out for us to, see and say, oh, that's something. That person is doing something.
Right.
So with DNR, where was I going with my question? With DNR, how is this support?
the culture. There,
The culture. How does this happen? Because I know in our generation right now, people's attention, our attention is very little. If I go someplace and the crowd, there's not plenty of crowd, I'll leave. For example, if the music is not really good, I'm not listening to it. So how are you able to have your entire team stick together no matter what?
Because remember when I said you put the ideas in the middle of the floor and you look at them and say, now what are you going to do with it? How do you build a team unless you put it in the middle of the floor and let them look at the pieces? It's like putting together a puzzle. We need you all to put this together. Here's the video. Here's the performance. Here's the song. What do you think of it? Have a listening party for people to really critique. When they go to the studio, send it out and say, hey guys, what do you think of this? Those type of things. And have everyone to be open to listen. That's very important. Even though you all have a low attention span, as you say, the one thing is if you tap into your passion and you're making it yours, if I'm talking about what you guys are doing right now, you can talk to me for hours.
Right.
So remember, everyone there has one common interest. They are model, actor, singer, dancer. And they want to do something with what? Their career. So they're all artists in some form. So if you as a rapper can really do something with your career and I am there in the background, you can help me model your new clothes line that's coming out. And oh yeah, by the way, I am producing a play and you can come so that all of your fans will come to see my first play.
Right.
Do you see how that support networking? And as an artist, I'm a dancer, so I'm dancing behind you, getting that attention. So when you lift, so do I. So everybody works together in a connection So we all get a piece of the pie in a different way.
Right.
I like that. Let me ask you this though. Like a few weeks back, we had a talent management, company, Legacy. Shout out to Legacy House, rolled through, and they have a lot of, kind of what you have,
Right.
a lot of singers, dancers, rappers, and all that. How do you make sure everybody has fair play? Managing that many talent. How do you make sure like somebody might say, dang, like I haven't had a meeting with you guys in like 2 months. Saying I got songs recorded, ready for radio, whatever. Nobody's taking a listen yet. How do you make sure everybody's well represented and has fair play?
Well, on the actors and the model side, we have a joint box, as well as the artists have another different joint box. So when opportunities come out, it goes to everyone. It goes to everyone. So then everyone responds back, hey, look, I'm interested in this. So be at the office this day at this time. Let's discuss it and let's get something moving. So opportunities, I don't have to sit with a book and look through the book and say, oh, I think this one is good for that or this one is good for that. When it goes out, we have a blast. Remember I said young people. Mm-hmm. They have set us up a networking box. Mm-hmm. So everything comes in, goes out to them. They have learned, one of the lessons learned is if it doesn't fit, move on. So if it fits you, then you hit us back and say, hey, look, I would love to do this. We submit you. It makes life so easy. Mm-hmm. Because everyone knows what's out there. Everyone sees people getting submitted. And then when they get the role or an audition, it is posted. So everyone is fully involved in the whole process.
Right.
Now, are there young people that you can submit all day long and may not have the look or go to an audition and don't get it? Well, I always tell them every no is closer to a yes. If they continue to say no, then you need to keep up with your skills. What did you do different? Mm-hmm. What should you have done? What did you lack in, perhaps? But keep doing it, and you're going to get a yes.
Right. What companies have you worked with? As in, let's say right now, a young artist comes to you, and they want to see your resume, the people you've worked with. What companies have you worked with?
Well, at this junction, we're working with a young man that used to be with, who was it with, Wycliffe or one of those guys?
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Gang.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot of things with the artists. About a couple weeks ago, we went and all of our artists got to perform in front of Def Jam. Mm-hmm. So they got a great opportunity there. We get them the opportunities. It's up to them to seal the deal. Mm-hmm. Far as our singers and our actors, for instance, they have done everything from Captain America to Who the Bleep Did I Marry to Eva Twin, Deadly Affairs. They have been Ted 2. So the platform for that is very large. Something My Man or something that was on BET that was running for a while, a lot of the Discovery programs. So they have really broadened.
I read on your website, Empire, a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of that. And in the models, they do Baltimore Fashion Week, DC Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, on the Hudson. Mm-hmm. They do all of those various things. They do bridal. They do layout shoots. They just finished doing one for athletic company. So they do a lot of great things. If you go out to our website, which is www.drtalentmanagement.com, follow us on Facebook, which is DNR Talent Management, or our Instagram, which is @DR Talent Management. You will see a lot of the great things that they're doing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Saying at the start, the segment you guys mentioned, being in the business, 13 years? 14 years, my bad. Son, you sure? My bad. What's some of the difficult things in this industry, that you guys have encountered? Like what's some of the difficult things in talent management or just as business owners that you've encountered doing this for 14 years?
What's the hardest part of managing talent?
I think you always have to reinvent.
Yes.
You can never stay, once again, That's why we said, okay, this is the time of social media. Who do you grab? But the young people who are already always doing social media. So you always have to reinvent. You cannot get stuck into the everyday, this is how it's going to be stigma. You have to continually reinvent yourself. You have to look at new innovative things that you can do, different partnerships that you're getting all the time. You have to change you a lot of the times. You know, for us, it's getting used, for me, not him, it's getting used to the music. I'm used to the music of the Motown and the 80s.
Yeah.
And
She is.
yeah.
She go way back,
Yeah,
way
the
back.
LL Cool J, where it was a message, and those. But getting used to it, you know, where the girls are called different things, and the gangbanging, you know, theories and those type of things. Because my theory is, are you doing that? You know, you always got to answer that big question. Do you do that? I mean, why not rap about yourself?
Exactly.
You know, but then my husband will always say, I got this, you know, so he works with them. He cultivates them. They work together. And I mean, if you go out, we have some great rappers, and they're doing wonderful things. Like I said, they just did a show in front of Def Jam, and they've already been booked for 3 other shows. So
Solid.
I'm saying they're doing some great things. They even doing a little R&B and rap together. And
Yes. A little collabo there.
yeah. So he has them doing a lot of great things. So I stay out of that part of the thing. Not unless I can get an R&B, you know, R. Kelly kind of swing kind of guy, or you know, little
We're
Keith
working on
Sweat.
that one now. So
Little Keith Sweat.
Yeah. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to add on to that question, like, 2018 is not 2008 per se. You know what I mean? Like you say, adapting and being innovative. Somebody listening right now, you know, want to manage, has a talent, they want to manage one person. How, you know, is talent management done right in this day and age, in your view, in your perspective?
I think we have to open up to see what they want.
yeah.
You know, I think years ago it was more about managing a person, just taking over and going. But nowadays, with the new innovative things that are going on, you have to allow them to have stock in it. Once again, you said you all lose attention span. Well, if you don't have stock in it, then you become uninterested in
That's
it.
facts.
So
facts.
you have to be as invested as your managing company. So we have you invest in you. What is it that you want? What can you stand behind? And then we come together to see how we're going to make this work.
Yeah. So Rodney, you awfully quiet over here, man. Like,
Hey, yeah.
let's talk a little bit about finances.
All right, let's do this.
You know, managing talent is not cheap.
No, it isn't.
So how are you able to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna allocate this amount of funds for this talent or this amount for this person? Well, in fact, how do you allocate money for each talent?
Well, as my partner said, you invest in yourself. You your own business, and you go as far as you allow yourself. But as we stated also earlier, we have other jobs, which keeps the costs down. So we don't have to charge premium for a beat or for a songwriter or for studio time. And also, just like you mentioned yourself, your partner over here mentioned he was a rapper. We have the artists. In other words, instead of going outside to an outside studio, you say if you have a studio and you can do beats, then I have your partner as the artist, the rapper, he come over to you. So you guys work together instead of me going to an outside source. And so we keep the costs down at a minimum. It's a give and take, a partnership. At the same time, it's a family-based situation. And what I was going to ask your partner there, he said he was a rapper. Do you do that underground rapping, or is it all family-based rapping?
I do right here.
Now, when I say underground, I'm referring to all that cussing and foul language and all that.
I'm a Christian rapper.
Oh, okay.
CHH, yeah.
Okay, just making sure, because see, we work with all kinds of rappers, you know, and different institutions where they performing underground, referring to is like, you know, just you just say anything that comes to mind, versus you just, you know, saying something that a 8-year-old can repeat every day. So I try to work with that as well. You know, although like I said, we are family based and we try to keep things clean, because we find that a lot of venues doesn't like hip hop artists because they travel anywhere from 5 to 10 people deep, and it creates a certain atmosphere where a rapper gets up there and start throwing his you know his lyrics around, and another artist gets a little offended. Now, whether he said anything about something he's doing, but it's just maybe the vibe or how deep he came in the club. So automatically it creates a hostility in the venue. So a lot of artists a lot of venues like having R&B, old school, where there is nothing going on, you know, that can happen.
Right.
You know, so.
In your opinion, you know, you've been around for some time.
Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Just a little bit. You've seen hip hop transit from, you know, like lyrically. You've seen the transition in hip hop, and also the sensitivity of people. In your opinion, which group is more sensitive? Is it back then or now?
Now. I can answer that real quick. Now.
Does it make it hard, you know, in terms of like managing talent? Does it make it hard?
No, not really. You just get to know your artists. We have artists anywhere from, 18 to about 40 years old. And it's just a thing of getting to know your artists, knowing where they're from, you know, where they live at, what kind of upbringing they had, what they've been through. Because a lot of artists, as they say, what's on their sleeve, they put it down on paperwork, you know, and they get to express themselves through their music. So it's just a thing of just getting to know the artist and seeing, because we have one artist that's older, but he's young, but he's old school. Now, how did he got to listen, 18-year-old listen to old music, you know, it's beyond me. But that's the stuff that he's used to. Maybe his mom and dad's been, you know, playing it around the house, but that's what he's used to.
Yeah.
So you get to know the artist and, you know, what's in his heart and, you know, in his mind. And then we put it down on some paperwork and let him, you know, go through it and learn his lyrics and starts getting his passion behind it.
Right.
I'm just
let it
curious
convey
to know,
over to the people listening.
I like that. I'm just curious to know what, you know, I don't know, famous person do we know now that's come through DNR, talent management?
Famous person. See, the work is hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's sort of like a starving actor. You have to have a job of some means of finance to get in the studio, to get beats, and every artist know that when you get in the studio, the clock starts ticking. You know, where there's certain amount of money per hour, certain beats that you leasing, not even purchasing. You know, so and we find that just like artists we have now that's on our page, we got him booked for a couple of shows as well as radio person and be in person, and he was like, wow, you know. It's a little much for him because we try to keep him busy, get him out there, get his fan base up, because, you know, his fan base is fine, but it can be better. It can always be better. So we try to get his artist page up because a lot of people don't know who he is. You know, you have your own personal page, but what is your artist page is like, you know? And like I was going to refer to you, how many times have you performed on a stage to get your, you know, your performance up to where it's routine that, man, I did this last time, I can try this next time. Yeah. So you become more experienced at performing in front of 50 people, then 100 people, then 200 people. And you become better at it, more comfortable at it. You start feeling what the people feel in the audience, start vibing to that. And then it conveys over to you on stage and you start, hey, I can do this. Then, you know, you start loving it, you know, because sometimes the audience is dry. Yeah. I mean, everybody likes the hometown favorite. You know, the artist from around the corner, you know, he gets about, you know, the whole venue is clapping for him. Right. And then you from out of state, from out of county, or from out of country, from you guys. And it's like, okay, yeah, they got a little clap, but it's okay, you know. So you kind of lose that oomph because the crowd was dry. Nothing due to you because they know the hometown favorite guy, and they're like, yeah, we know Tyrone the teacher or whatever. He's bad, man. We've been seeing him perform, and it's automatically he got them, you know. So it's kind of hard, you know. So we get our artists to travel. Say, you know, if you feel you good in your backyard, now let's go out of your backyard in somebody else's backyard and see how you do, and as well as competition. So yeah, we keep the price down, the cost down, and because like I said, everybody wants to make it, but you have to put in the work, you have to put in the time, and we want you to put in the love and the passion for it, not just doing it for a paycheck.
Right.
But in answering your question also, you know, we always get asked who's famous. And I always ask in return, what do you consider famous? You know, everybody think being famous is saying I am Denzel Washington. You know, I am, you know, Will Smith. However, we have actors under us that make $80,000, $90,000 a year. So do you consider that famous? Or do you consider they are able to make a living doing what they love to do?
I take the money and no clout any day.
You know, they may not be an A-lister, but they good on the B list. You know what I mean? And they're out doing their craft and doing their thing, and they can walk through an airport, and guess what? They don't have to pay the money for all the security to follow them all day. So, I mean, so I always ask people, what do they consider famous or what do they consider successful? We have one young lady that was, you know, had came in and started doing rapping. Well, you know, she got a full ride to Penn State, 4 years. If you know how much Penn State costs for a 4-year full ride. I call that success. You know, when she came, she was a shy little butterfly. When she left, she was blossoming and flying off. So those are success stories within themselves. Because remember, I said I believe in education. I don't believe that you need to hop on the bus and allow someone else to drive your bus and you don't know what's in it.
Right.
But then we do have to go into your asking about someone being very successful. We have a 15-year-old beat maker that has made beats for like Will the Rapper, Rudy Cash, Too Easy Black, and all of those type of guys. So
15 years old.
He's 15 years old. So if you're doing this at 15, I say you're successful. Because by the time you're 18, who will you be doing beats for?
Right.
Man.
You know, and we have guys coming to him all the time. So we tell people all the time, hey, look, you know, hit us up if you need a beat maker because the guy is really good and he does a great job. So once again, I always ask, what do you consider
successful?
Because that's, you know, people's parameter. I can raise the bar on what I consider successful.
Success, right? Yeah.
But what do you consider successful? And that gives a platform on how to answer the question.
I'm stuck in the middle. You successful. You my celebrity. You know.
What do you guys see Theodore in the next? I don't know. You know. What do you have planned for the rest of the year? Or what do you see? What do you see? You've been doing this 13 years. What do you
14.
see? What do you? My bad. Dang. What do you see?
He's gonna rap for us in a minute.
Yeah, that's something with that 13.
Yes. I think we're taking the business in such a different direction with the youth. They are driving a big social media. They're doing a life in a day now of DNR management.
I like that. I saw a little bit of that, yeah.
Yes, they have nailed us to 52 weeks of every week we have to. And I'm surprised they didn't decide to show up today and video the whole show and put it out there. So, but that's what they do. On a weekly basis, they take one or two of the things we're doing and they're blasting it out there. They decided, hey, look, we'll start it on Facebook, like you said, and then we're going to get a YouTube channel. These are all the great things that they're planning. They're taking the radio station that's already under us and kind of converting that to be a traveling radio station that goes and follows the rappers all over the place. So they're doing a lot of that. They want to open up to have more podcast type things so that they can follow and be a big part of a lot of the traveling things that we do. as well as our artists. So I see us as branching out into the more of the new millennial, or what is it, Gen X, or
The hip generation.
there you go, into the young generation. And, so you can take your phone and you can hit, and there we are, and you don't have to worry about trying to scroll through. We are always constant, got something going on, letting you know what we're doing, where we be, where our artists will be, and have more of the new feel is what we're trying to really work into this year.
I like it.
Yeah, we always try to end the pod with this question because it's very important.
Question.
In this question, what is success to you?
I think she answered that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's hear it
you
again.
personally,
To you personally, like, what is success?
I believe that when young people come to us, if they leave with a stronger confidence, it's so much bullying, it's so much cyberbullying, it's so much behind the scenes things going on in kids' life, so many different pressures that, I've heard people say, well, bullying's been around for years. Yes, bullying was around when I came up, but you know the difference. I didn't have these little devices people could hide behind. I didn't have Facebook and Instagram, and I didn't have all of those things. So if you had something to say to me, you had to come straight up.
Yeah.
And you dealt with how I handled it. But nowadays, you can hide behind a computer screen, and your name is, but by the way, I go by Africa. Well, who is Africa? By the time and you don't put none of your pictures out there. So now I'm trying to figure out who you are that's writing all of this stuff. It has changed. So success is letting young people see that these computers can be used for money-making objects. They can be used to do some really great things and to expand their minds to the point that whatever's going on, they can learn to block it out. Express yourself through your music. That is your outlet. If you're angry, express it. If you're happy, express it. If you just don't know how you feel, express it. And through that, get them in the studio. Let them start showing how they feel. I think success is an individual as they grow in their craft and their business, that they're happy with who they are, where they're going, and they're able to stand and say, I'm happy, I'm content, and I'm making good money and laughing at everybody on their computer picking with me all the way to the bank.
How about you?
Since I work with the artists, I guess just where they might have been, say, in a shell, and maybe stage fright, or just having had certain opportunities perform, is getting them to that next level, and watching the smiles and watching them have a good time enjoying themselves. Because usually by the time a lot of artists, just young folks in general, come to us, there's something deeper going on. So us being a family-based business and parents of kids of our own with that age group, along that age group, we get it out of them. And we sit down, and it becomes not just a business, but as that second parent to them. And we get to know them and watch them, as they say, blossom into this nice flower. Where when they first came to us, they was closed in a shell, reserved, and just not that outgoing. But just to seeing them come from where they were yesterday to where they have advanced today, I guess that would be my success. Just watching me, just working with them one-on-one to know where they started from to where they are now, whether that's successful or something within them personally.
I like it, man. They are Delaine and Rodney Richardson. They are the founder, CEO of D&R Management, Talent Management, and they are a power couple. We appreciate y'all coming and stuck in the middle, kicking it with us.
Thank
today.
you.
How can
guys for
people
having
reach
us.
y'all?
For having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let the people know one more time, where they can find you on social media.
And your website and all that stuff. Yeah.
Our website is www.dr Talent Management. Our Facebook is D&R Talent Management, and it's the and sign. And our Instagram is at DR Talent Management. And if you would like to email us, it's drtalentmanagement@gmail.com. So everything is DR Talent Management.
Hey, if you're in the DMV, don't say we can give you an opportunity to shine out here, man.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. There you have it. I just might sign, you know what I mean?
Come
we're going
on.
to talk to you afterwards.
Give you one of these business cards.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. AAK.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let them know how they can reach us. And who we got to come in next week?
Oh,
man?
next week we got Whitney Purnell. She is a millennial activist and the founder and CEO of Service Never Sleeps, a nonprofit that mobilizes communities to promote ally shaping and an active way of life that exercises bridge building to ensure equality, opportunity, and inclusion for everyone.
Ready right out of the book.
Yeah, man. That was too much for me to memorize.
Hey.
As always, you've been listening to and watching Stuck in Middle Podcast. Don't forget to review the show on every streaming platform. Follow us on Facebook, like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everything at SITM Podcast.
Yeah.
Email us for referrals, questions, comments.
You're still heavy on that Snapchat, you know, like you be on Snapchat heavy.
At SITM Podcast 237@gmail.com. SITM Podcast 237@gmail.com. Reflex.
Yeah, man. Want to thank our sponsor, Perfect Office Solution, for always sponsoring the podcast. Let them know we sent you. If you're looking for office space in the DMV, they'll hook you up. You know what I mean? I always tell cats like, yo, if you got a business, anything, you know what I mean, be like a tailor, seamstress, you know what I mean, like anything, you know, it's good to say, hey, come to my office and somebody pull up. You know what I mean? It gives that professional feeling.
Yeah.
So you can get 10% off if you let them know we sent you. Use promo code SITM Podcast. Hey, we are Stuck in the Middle Podcast,
And we out.
Yes, sir.